Clearly, history demonstrates that civil disobedience is not only morally acceptable, but sometimes is the only way that social change can be implemented. Where would our nation be without acts of civil disobedience? Civil disobedience is acceptable because it promotes change through the use of nonviolence. It is also one of the best ways to create change without causing mass chaos within a society. When you have an army behind you supporting your idea, change will soon come. Any person can participate in civil disobedience when something is deemed to be unjust. You don't need to be of a certain power to be able to stand up for what you believe in. The moral principle to civil disobedience is easy as following what your conscience is telling you without second-guessing it. This obviously doesn't mean if you feel it is right to kill someone and you believe it with all your heart that it is right, that you go out and do that exact thing. You are human if you practice civil disobedience. If you have a conscience, you are going to practice in civil disobedience also, which every person I know tends to have a conscience. I don't know how one could handle themselves without one. When you have a conscience and the society is doing the opposite thing that you believe in, you are obligated to practice civil disobedience. Civil disobedience brings immediate attention towards an unjust law. Taking a stand and having a large amount of followers is what will bring immediate attention toward the unjust law or the thing that you are fighting against. Thoreau didn't have any followers to help him bring attention at first to the situation he saw as unjust. The only reason why Thoreau had gained popularity was after he wrote his book or speech, and that is when more people became aware of what he was doing and fighting for. Civil disobedience brings immediate attention to the media. When people see that on a local news show or news lines and they agree with that opinion, it contributes to the amount of followers and people supporting that idea. MLK had many speeches with many people around to come together and take a stand as one. When you have media researching and looking into why you are protesting against a law or a problem, it also tends to show your supporters and get your opinions on what others think too. And when it hits the media, it tends to go to higher power to see how to control it. This is a quick way to go straight to higher power and address your belief. Civil disobedience is used for good intentions, nonviolence, and is used to create change. Martin Luther King Jr. states, "I have decided to stick with love. It is too great burden to bear." He is one of the most known inspirational motivators in the world. I feel as if he got his opinion about segregation out in a more respectful and peaceful manner, rather than Malcolm X did. Don't get me wrong, Malcolm X is a great leader, but him stating to do what you feel is right shows to me that violence is okay when it's needed. A great quote from Rosa Parks is, "You must never be fearful about you are doing, but about what you feel are you doing is right." Rosa Parks didn't use violence either. She was able to get her point across by sitting on the wrong side of the bus. This was quite illegal, and she went against the law, but it went for a great point. And many people supported her for her doing this. She believed in something and didn't find it was right to use violence, so she did the simplest things, such as sitting on a bus and when she wasn't allowed to be seated in. Civil disobedience is effective when you have semblance on the other side and when you have many others supporting you too. When you have an army of people behind you supporting your idea or belief, it will also contribute to what I said earlier. When you have a larger amount of people, the media is more likely to hear about it and research it. When you have more people supporting you, it tends to make a bigger impact within the society. The American Civil Rights Movement needed an overreaction of authorities with their dogs, water cannons, and batoons. This gained the sympathy and support of uncommitted citizens. If we were to see many people get brutally hurt, is a natural reaction to feel bad for them, which also gets more supporters towards the same belief. Civil disobedience is acceptable because it's the best way to promote change through the use of nonviolence. It is also a way to create change without causing mass chaos in the society. It is very useful to have many people behind you supporting your idea or belief. Any person can participate in civil disobedience when something is seen to be unjust. You don't need to be of certain power or age to be able to take a stand for what you believe in. Is civil disobedience morally acceptable to cause change? Absolutely.